Still no theme song.
Hi, welcome to Unmasked. Today we're going to talk about traditions and why you should rid some of them, if not all of them. Now, I will talk about, there's some things that I did do as bride, and then there are some things that I was just like over. But there are also some suggestions that I have that can make the day a little bit better. But I'm going to tell you some funny things too, and some of these things are going to be a little bit unhinged and then also a little bit raunchy. Where do all of our traditions come from? Usually a dark place in history. So previously to 1900s, even like 1950s, hygiene wasn't really a thing, right? We had trouble with showering. We had trouble to access water. You know Game of Thrones. You know the access to clean beer was a lot better than clean water. So, therefore, not a lot of water to shower either. So we have things like florals and boutonnieres to cover up BO. So with that, we have a lot of things that go along the lines of those traditions to kind of cover up scent, right? We have a lot of a lot of scents going on. There's a lot of things with the bride. For some reason, I have so many questions for the people of history and how, like, what they thought an evil spirit's IQ was. Because there's a lot of things happening specifically with the bride and them trying to, like, bamboozle evil spirits. So one thing is, well, there's a few things. One thing is, like, back in the day, people had bridesmaids. It wasn't like a cute, will you be my bridesmaid? It's like, will you sacrifice yourself for me in case an evil spirit comes for me? So bridesmaids were typically used as like figures of complete distraction for if by some reason an evil spirit showed up on a wedding day to get the bride. It's always after the bride. I don't understand. But they would typically wear the same exact dress as the bride. So that way, like, walking down the aisle, the spirit would be like, I don't know. They all look the same. Like, the question I have is, like, one is at the altar, and they're going to be like, I just don't know. 5 of them look exactly alike. So that's funny to me. Also, like, 5 is the typical number. And then the groomsmen, I think they just like equaled it out for counterbalance, but it was always after the bride. The veil is the same thing. So typically you'll see in traditional like old images, the veil is over the bride's face. Same thing, like walking down the aisle, you've got to protect the bride. It's only going to get the woman before she's married, but afterwards they don't want anything to do with her. She's a married woman. So after that bride's revealed, like, you gotta kiss her quick, make that seal documented, otherwise, like, nothing. The garter is weird. The garter has some history. So first of all, the garter dance is a new modern thing that we've changed. The garter tradition came from, this idea had to be created by either a man who was with a woman who was like a little timid, or I don't know. It's just a man. I don't know. So originally it was, if you were a wedding guest, your job when the bride and groom, because this was a binary world, When a bride and a groom came down after getting hitched, the audience, or the people, the crowd, their job was to get a piece of the bride's dress. So, one, this was good luck for you, the audience or the crowd or the guest. If you got a snag of the material, good luck for you. Secondly, by the end, if the bride was like half or fully naked by the end of the aisle, it would encourage the couple to run to a secret hiding spot and proceed to do the horizontal mambo for what people thought was probably the first time, but it probably wasn't, and make a baby. So it did 2 things of that. Who stopped this tradition and when did it become the garter dance? Excellent question. At what point were they like, I'm tired of them assaulting this person? It stopped, thank God. But then it shifted into a whole new issue. So it shifted into the garter dance. So that is now, we don't assault people on the way back from the aisle. we simply put a garter on their leg, and then we dance very provocatively in front of grandma. So garter dance, we're shifting that. Now we have bouquet toss and we have a garter dance. Both things in my eyes very unnecessary. Both things kind of weird to photograph. So we're gonna start with the garter because I want to continue on this conversation. I've seen some people do this to their partner. One thing. There's 3 steps to this. Number 1. When there's old people or grandmothers in the room and you're up there just for like a little too long with your mouth, it's not a good time for anybody. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. Number 2, some of us unfortunately know when the bride is wearing underwear and when they're not. But when you're up there for like a little bit too long, it's just like, I don't like it. You know, I don't want it. Thirdly, when you're up there for too long, but it's like a hot July day, sometimes there's a moment of panic on the bride's face when they realize that the garter dance is not just going to be a hand, but it's going to be a mouth. And I'll tell you why. All day, you're running, your thighs are sweating. Underwear or not, things be sweaty. Sometimes that produces an odor on your thighs, on other materials. It's just not good. And you try to prevent it, but sometimes August, July, there's no preventing that, you know? So it becomes a lot. And there's just kind of like oh no. So as a photographer, I also know that's coming. We know everything. Just like, oh no. With the garter dance, there's one wedding that lives in my mind that's a positive. 2015, I photographed this wedding. I got so many weddings from this wedding. As a side note, the groom changed his entire outfit and did a Magic Mike performance to his person. He even did like a slide in to receive the garter, and then he went up with his hand to retrieve. It was like, because it didn't make grandma uncomfortable. She was cracking up. He committed to the cause. He changed his whole outfit. He had like a hat. Grandma was like, "Go Ryan," you know, like it was great. And like he was like strip teasing and like whatever for his gal. But she was cracking up. Like, everyone was laughing because we don't know how confident he was doing this dance, but he for sure sold it. And so that one, to me, like, that was, like, a fun, classy, not classy, but, I don't know, like, play on it. Instead of it making it feel like this sexual endeavor. Now, with this, when we talk about the garter toss, what's really weird about this, more than anything else, is, like, when, like, the person is gonna throw it back, right? And you've got, like, the bride's like brother or cousin or any person, really, it doesn't even matter who they are, and like it's been on this woman's like sweaty ass thigh all day, and then you throw it back, okay, and this person like snatches in there and they put it in their mouth and there's like you know what I've been thinking about a lot? The candy necklaces when you're younger. Okay, stay with me. Candy necklaces. You have them on your neck. And you're like playing on the playground during a little league game. You're sweating a lot. You keep biting it. Okay, so imagine this candy necklace is sweating, slobbering, biting, right? And then like it's given to you from someone else and you put that in your mouth. That is an equivalent of what that garter is. And people are just throwing it in their mouth, taking pics with it, and then putting it on their forehead. I definitely wouldn't do that if that was on a man's thigh all day. And I wouldn't be convinced if it was on a woman's either. Now, alternative, I love musical chairs. Why can't men just do a musical chair round and then whoever wins that, like, then they get pressured to be married somehow else. Like, they can get an award. If they aren't married yet and you want to encourage, you know, the marriage to go on, you can give them like a ring pop.
You know, like something fun that they want. Everyone wants a ring pop or some sort of candy. You know, and if they don't like candy, they don't like fun. Bouquet toss. Bouquet tosses are fine. They're weird to photograph. Everyone's just like, ah, you know, and then they get this weird photo, but everyone's like, I want this photo. And I'm like, why? Like, I didn't do that photo. I restricted it. I knew my guest list, and I knew that the oldest couple going to be dancing was my grandma and grandpa on my paternal side, who are my grandpa's no longer with us. So, what I did was I took my second bouquet. I did an anniversary dance, which is where all of the couples together do a dance. And then the DJ counts down for how long people have been married. Longest couple married got my bouquet, which was my grandma and grandpa. I got a cute little photograph of me and my grandma hugging and me giving her the bouquet. Got a cute photograph with my husband and I and my grandparents, and then one alone with just my grandma. So it was like a cute way to make a moment. So what I would encourage you all to do, instead of just doing these like things that the world says you have to do that are just really friggin' weird, is like, what moments are you missing, and can you make them happen in a reception? Because like, as a wedding photographer, those are my favorite things to do, are to like grab moments that like are actually gonna mean something, not these just little like, I know the shoe game people like to do, that's like where you're asked questions and like the people are back to back and they have to answer honestly. It's fine. I think that if like the questions are like semi-personal and diggy enough, like it can be a moment of like funny laughter, but don't do it too long or drag it out for too long. It does get boring. It's fine. One thing recently that's been new is this thing called Photo Dash. So I'm gonna recommend you do a few things. First of all, if you're going to do a photo dash, definitely tell your photographer about it ahead of time. Not everyone shoots on an f-stop of 8 with a flash right off the bat when they get into a reception. And some of y'all hire photographers who don't know what an f-stop is. They just charge you money. We'll get to this in a later episode. And then they shoot on auto. And they don't know what they're doing. So what that means is, when you do like a round the table photo dash, which is like common where I'll see people and they're like running from table to table with you, half of the people in the front will be like very blurry and the back people will be in focus, and there's like no way to get that back because they're like on an f1.4 or 2, so something really shallow up the field. So first of all, yes, tell your photographer you're doing it so they can prepare, whatever that means for them. Second of all, if you're doing table to table, your guests, like, even if the DJ is like, hey, make sure you stand up and like, I'll try to get unified on one table, your guests won't do it. Straight up. Like, you'll have a few tables that are like MVPs, but what you get is what you get. The idea of getting a table with every photograph, a photograph with every table is beautiful, but they're not going to be top tier for everyone because some of your guests are lazy and they don't want to stand up again. Or are they able? If you have disabled people who cannot get up, make sure you're going to their side of the table so people can go to them. Make sure that your MC or whoever is like, make sure you like get up and like, by the end of the photo dash, those tables are MVP. They know what to do. But the beginning 6, they're just going to be like, oh, and then it's going to be like this weird, sometimes people are like half, it's like, you know, not great. Recently, my last photo dash people, excellent. They sat in the middle of the dance floor and the MC just like played a song and is like, all right, well, he should have made it a game, but he didn't. But he's like, everyone, you're going to come to the dance floor when your table number is done. So he'd call off like table 1, and then table 1 would come up and go around the couple. We'd photograph with them. And then they'd go away, and then there'd be a table 2, and then, like, it was fine, everyone got a good photo, but in my mind, I'm thinking, like, all right, we're gonna do a photo dash, your job is to come up and photograph the bride and groom, the table with the best, like, creative idea and what to do with them wins, or something, because while we were doing it, like, one table all brought up tulips in their mouth and they were all like around them. The other ones did like a lifting up of them. I'm so sorry to your cultures. I don't know what this is called. It's with the wooden chair. And there was like a few other ones I did, and I was like, oh, that'd be like a sick game. Last but not least, dancing orders. Why does the couple have to dance first? I don't love that. There's a few reasons I don't love that. Number one, I do fun lighting tactics, and I love looking at different angles. If the mother and father dances could go first, then by the couple dance, I can arrange different angles and see what lighting and spot is the absolute best. And also that way, the couple are both kind of like relaxed from being on stage, that they're going to be more relaxed and can like dance more efficiently the first time. Because everyone has stage fright for the first dance. And I would love that relaxed first dance to be with like the couple for the first time and not the parents. So first of all, that's what that does. It makes your photographs better for yourself. Secondly, you're already on the dance floor. So when the DJ hits it to the next song, everyone's going to want to come out to the dance floor because you're already there. If you are scared that no one's going to dance, it all sets on what the couple is going to do. If the couple is like a party hard dance, then everyone will be there. If you guys are not and you're like just chatty sitting down people, most likely that's what your party is going to be. So it follows you. I made a vow to not sit down like once. The only time I sat was when I was going from table to table, and I was mad about it the whole time because all of my favorite songs were playing. And I was like, if you want to talk to me, come out on the dance floor. Like, I'm dancing this whole time because like that's what I wanted. And that's what I did. At the end of the day, it's your wedding day. You can do what you want. You don't have to do any of the traditions. I didn't even have a dinner. We did photographs and a sneak peek at 3. We did all of my bridal party. We did all of my family. We had our like a private family dinner for everyone who was there prior. We got married at sunset at 7. It was in October. We did our night photos at 7:30, and we walked right over to our reception. We had a snack, like a snack bar. We had on our invitations that there would not be a dinner, but we would have a bunch of snacks. So we had like chips and dips, make your own popcorn and trail mix bar. I had vegan cupcakes. Everything that we did was like a give back thing. We had a bar that was like hosted and bartended by some of our friends. And then we just had our reception like right after that. And it was beautiful. Like we'd had, I had my mom and dad actually do the first dance first because it was their anniversary date. And then my husband and I danced after that. And then we did our parent dances. And then I only had them play one slow song. Everything else was so fast-paced. So you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And I think that that's what's really important for people to memorize is like, this is your wedding. And everything that you do, like, just make it a reason. And for me, it's like capturing the moments that matter. If you don't see the moments happening, then like make them happen somehow. And you can do whatever you want. So those are my recs for you. I hope you enjoyed this unhinged episode. We could talk about some strange things all the time, but they will be coming in newer episodes. So I should go pick up my cat from the vet. She did great. Goodbye.